down now because it's an Asian person, so
That's
don't
what they
report
did.
it.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did, and worse, they literally redacted the fact that the culprits were Pakistani in official files.
I was following through on a children's file, an archive, and found the word Pakistani Tipexed out.
They outright destroyed
Because they were trying to cover it up. They didn't want people to know that these rape gangs were Pakistani.
files. They deliberately didn't record the ethnicity of grooming gang perpetrators in 2/3 of cases. And in areas where accurate figures could be collected.
More covering up. Didn't bother collecting the figures. But we all know they have collected them in France. And 70% of rapes in France are by immigrants. Oh.
Like Rotherham. Pakistanis, who compose less than 4% of the population, were responsible for 62% of child abuse cases. That's a 1,450%.
But only 4% of the population.
More than 1 in 16 Pakistani men living in Rotherham being involved in child grooming gangs. What was that?
That's it. Because if I ask my brother and 50 of his mates, do they want to come and shag this fucking 13-year-old, I'll get battered 50 times. But in Asian land, he asks his brother if he wants to come, and he either agrees, and he asks 50 mates who agree and all go down, or he asks 100 mates, 50 don't agree but don't say anything, and he asks another 50 mates who do go for the abusing. You can't, it's one or other.
Yeah, Emily?
I'm telling you that you are focusing on Pakistani grooming gangs because probably you're racist.
In West Yorkshire, Asians were overrepresented by double and whites were underrepresented by half. I mean, it's not as if the signs weren't there. This conspiracy of concealment went right to the very top. Whitehall officials tried to get Michael Gove to go to court.
Yeah, the government, the MPs, the social workers, the councillors and the police. 5 agencies that all covered it up.
To cover it all up.
Mr. Cummings said officials wanted, and I quote, a total cover-up.
Officials came to me in the Department of Education and said, there's this Times journalist who wants to write the story about these gangs. The local authority wants to judicially review it and stop the Times publishing the story.
Covering it up.
So I went to Michael Gove.
They love
it.
That's why Stormer didn't want an inquiry.
Yeah.
They're all in Labour councils. Burnley, Accrington, Nelson, Blackburn, Bradford, Leeds, fucking Huddersfield, Halifax.
You will write to the
all
judge
run by Labour councils.
That's
why Labour don't want an investigation.
Blow up the council's JR. Gove, to his credit, and various other officials strongly agreed with me. So it's a classic thing in Whitehall, right? Some officials wanted a total cover-up and were on the side of the council. In the end, there will be an inquiry. It'll be a total for Whitehall because it will reveal how much Whitehall worked to try and cover up the whole thing.
The media and leftists took a sham 2020 Home Office report based on false and incomplete data, which didn't even record the ethnicity of perpetrators in 66% of cases, to claim that the majority of grooming gang culprits were white men. This was echoed in Parliament.
Yeah.
White girls who suffered at the hands of white men.
And they were still using this
is
sham
white
data on the
racism.
BBC as recently as
White
2 weeks ago.
racism by fucking
2024, as you can
MPs.
see there, of those suspects where ethnicity is known, just over half
Just
are white
lying
British.
bastards.
Wikipedia labelled the entire
Lying
Pakistani grooming
bastards.
gangs issue a baseless, fabricated moral
Fucking
panic.
lying
So why did they
bastards.
cover it all up?
It's all
We don't have to take a
tumbling
wild
down.
guess. It's admitted in the report. Fear of appearing racist, raising community tensions, or causing community cohesion problems. In
Oh,
other
yeah,
words,
because
they deliberately ignored or outright covered up
Islamists
the
have low
industrial-scale
impulse.
abuse of young white
They can't
working
control
class
the
girls.
impulses.
To uphold the
So we
sacred
have to
myth
all
that
dart around
diversity
not
is
to
our
upset
greatest
them.
strength. Leftist media
Fuck's
complicity in
sake.
running defence for the cover.
Whoever's been running this country for 40 years have destroyed it. You absolute wankers.
Leftist outlets like the Huffington Post suggest Labour is to thank for revealing the truth.